Hey guys, today I'm gonna be showing you the deadly sin, greed, and explain to you and what it does to you. So, greed, the deadly sin. So, pretty much, what this sin is that feeling of no being like satisfied, like not being satisfied for what you have. Like some people think if a person has $1 billion, that means they're greedy. I'm telling you, pretty much, you can have $1 billion and not be greedy. What it is on a deeper, more perspective of like, for example, you see this cup right here, and then I built this faucet to represent the power going in. So pretty much, let's say this is the constant money flowing, and the no satisfaction is these holes right here. You see how it just constantly flowing out, but the faucet is keeping it full. It's constantly just flowing out, and it's never satisfied. See, like, let's say this is $1 billion. If we like pretty much pluck these holes up, and let's say this is $1 billion, we don't need the power from the faucet as much anymore. So it's being satisfied if you are not controlled by greed. But greed is straight up constant, never being satisfied. So here's what greed does and what it says. Greedy words. More power, I will be satisfied. So pretty much that's one of the things that greed says. He thinks that the more power he has, he thinks he will be satisfied. But greed, I'm telling you, it's a trap. What you actually feel is no satisfaction. You will feel no satisfaction. It's just like you are hungry, thirsty for more power. And here's another thing greed says. I value materials over souls and life. So like, let's say that you are a greedy person and you just seen like a person laying on the ground with like $500 right on their side. Soon as you saw that $500, you just immediately reach out for the monies instead of the helping the homeless man, and immediately just walk away without even looking at the homeless person once. Or you can glance at him, but you literally value the money over souls and life. And they can do it by themselves. Focus only on my ego. So pretty much you're focusing just mainly on yourself, and also they can do it by themselves. It's pretty much saying like you don't need me. You can like do it by yourself. But if the person is constantly like in so much bigger pain, like if they can't walk, like they're in the middle of the street and they cannot walk. And let's say that the person who can't walk has monies like on their lap or materials. It can be anything that's just high value. That person immediately walks towards them. They see money and like jewelries. They immediately snatch it from the person who can't walk, cannot defend themselves, and straight up just grab all the highest value things, immediately drop the purse and run off with it. Think about that. How does that sound for you? I'll let you decide that. And here's another word. No matter if I see people bleed, if there's money, I'm taking it. And that is what Greed also says. So, like, if you see, like, a person with a broken leg, like, just straight up broken arms, legs, bones, and if you see, like, $1,000 right beside that person, the greedy person telling you they will immediately take the money and run off with it. Sometimes greedy people mock the broken bones. Thank you very much. There are some greedy people who help, but still they took the person's money. It's not your money to take, but you want to run off with it still, even if you helped them. That shows that they have no respect for your life. And here is the consequences. What goes around comes around. You're going to have to go through the actions that you deal with. So, here's one. It doesn't satisfy you. It grows the holes bigger. So, what essentially saying is, like, think of like this as like a bigger cup. And these are the same size holes. What it actually is doing is actually making these holes instead of like this, it can like pretty much extend these holes bigger. So instead of like this, like instead of like this, like it just once, it becomes like this. So instead of like one, it becomes four. Telling you, if you keep feeding it, it will become four. What's messed up? It becomes four, even to this. This is 16 blocks. I tell you, you are never satisfied. And it makes your hole bigger. And tell you, like, if you don't get rid of that greed sin, it's gonna like keep making it bigger and bigger over time. And a lot of the times, people would say, "Oh, if I had more money, I'll be satisfied." Saying soon as later, you're gonna ask for more. You're gonna ask for more. All you're doing is making yourself more hungrier and hungrier. And another thing it does, it also commits a sin called idolatry. It makes God jealous. If you believe in God, we know not to have any other gods before Him because He is a jealous God. And a lot of times, greedy people was probably say God would be okay. You saying that also is mocking Him, and it proves that you don't care about Him. You don't care what's going on His behalf. You are just looking at your own self and thinking God will brush it off and just forget about it. Telling you God remembers everything. And also what greed does, it grows pride and blinds hearts. Tell you, it, remember it. More power, I will be satisfied. So pretty much, you're saying that if you have more power, if you just keep like pretty much having more power, you will be satisfied. But the holes get bigger the more you put into it. It's just like you can go from like $100 and say you'll be satisfied with it. If you let greed keep growing, you want like $10,000, $100,000. Then later on, you gonna want fame. Then you want people to worship you as you making money. And if people are hurting, you clearly only care about the money, not the soul that is struggling. And another sign of greed can also be those who are never like satisfied in being quiet. They always need attention to be satisfied instead of letting the power and God's spirit fill your hearts, your mind, and being satisfied with that. But nope, then you are empty. And you think money is just going to like fill it up. You think attention is also going to fill up pretty much the void? Nope, it's not. All it is just makes you more hungrier and hungrier. Tell you, If any of y'all suffer with greed or struggle with it, if y'all struggle with greed, merely confess it to God. I'm telling you, confess it to God and do not value materials over a human life. Because I tell you, pride, it makes you look down. It's gonna make you think that no one can touch you. Telling you that stuff is not gonna help you. All it is gonna do, it just leads you to destruction. And the most powerful being we know as God, he is humble, but he's the most powerful. But you thinking nobody can touch you? God will humble you. So I'm telling you, be aware of greedy people and make sure you don't have greed. And make sure to always keep these holes plugged. And you can extend your cup full. You can extend this pull and have like pretty much more, but still do not have any holes in there. You always want to keep the holes filled. And you can pretty much make a bigger cup. So instead of 9, you can make go to like kind of like pretty much like 11, 12 holes. Like kind of like this 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna say this is 16. See, we're making a bigger cup, so we holding more power, but still have that satisfaction that it is still good for you, and have that satisfaction that is enough. But keep putting in the effort to keep making your pool bigger. I mean basically bigger. But still be satisfied for what you have. Keep putting in the effort. See, like the bigger pool holds more power, but you are not letting greed control you. More power than this one, and still no holes. This is how we're supposed to do. But I hope you understand it. And I encourage you to also like do it like pretty much that understanding part. Try to like learn about greed more. Learn about all the deadly sins. But I tell you, if you had greed, confess it to God and be satisfied for what you got and do not look down on yourself nor boast in what you got. But I hope you enjoyed. As always, love y'all. Peace out.